Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island. Lots going on here, lots going on around the world. But let me just bring Tina on.
That's my
Hello, Tina. How are you?
Hello, Tommy. Thank you for having me on tonight. Here in the UK, the temperature was so cold last night. It was like 4 degrees Celsius, 4 degrees, and it was so cold. But yeah, we've had lots of things going on recently, lots of little local things. Yesterday, I get a message from my neighbour across the road saying, "Tina, there's a light, a red flashing silver light just out across from your house." So I thought she was pulling my leg or taking a mickey. So I goes outside my house, literally about 700 yards from my house. There's a block of houses going the other way. And just above the rooftop, you can see this light. It just like stopped and it was like revolving, like silver, red. And I managed to get my camera and snap a picture just as it's shooting off. So I took a picture of that, and that's on Facebook. I put it on my Facebook page. But the other night, I let my dog out 3 nights ago, and it was probably about 1:30, 2 in the morning. She wanted to go out for a wee. So I let her out for a wee, and as I let her outside, just so south, so to the west of Southampton in the UK, in the sky, I'd say probably 12. It's probably about 3 o'clock. Looking out, there's these 2 huge golden. They were like touching our atmosphere. It didn't look like an asteroid. They were just like 2 golden, huge globes. One was about probably 100 feet apart, going in the sky like that. Absolutely huge. I ran back in to get my camera. Tom, I put it on, ran back out, and they're gone and disappeared. I could not believe it. But the only big other local news is that we've got a power station near to us. They actually blew it up on Halloween morning at 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. It was a controlled explosion, demolition, big chimney that came down, a Fawley power station, and they blew that up. And luckily, it was such bad weather and very cold, and it wasn't very good. We got some good footage. Some local people and quite a lot of people came out in different places around Southampton to go and try and get a view of that being demolished. So that was. I went to see that as a field trip in when I was a kid in the 70s, early 80s. So in the early 70s, late 70s. So I was quite sad it's been demolished, but I didn't see any UFOs around that area. But there's been many reported over the years. Not heard a lot from ICAR and their statements or anything since they came out and said that contact is real and is happening. Other news, there's been huge news, mainly on, I must admit, social media rather on the television news. Here in the UK has been very limited news about the volcanoes. La Palma, the Cumbraveria, I think it's called, huge volcano, one of the bigger ones, I think, apart from Yellowstone, has been erupting for weeks and weeks with lava flows pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring out. And they've had a few lava bombs as well, rolling about down there. And that's in the Canary Islands. So, a bit worrying if that goes off. And all the other volcanoes, Mount Etna started in, I believe, about a week ago now, and a couple of grumbles and smoke and things like that. And other volcanoes, the Yark have been erupting. So lots of volcanoes in the southern hemisphere still going off, which is rather concerning. And of course, this weekend, apparently we've had this solar flare attack from the sun. Haven't seen much evidence of that, but the other morning I did get up. My partner leaves about 6 o'clock in the morning here in the UK, and that's before the clocks went back, guys. So, and I took a picture in the sky, and in the northeast, southern part of the sky at 7 o'clock in the morning before sunrise, so 2 hours before sunrise. So there's no way the sun could have been reflecting. And there's actually a bright sky that looked like a sun was coming up. And I'm just trying to find the picture now on my Facebook to show you how bright. There we go. So you can actually see there. So there is a picture of the street just where I live outside. So in a distance, you can actually see what looks like a sun coming up here. These street lights, this here is about 6 o'clock in the morning before sunrise in the UK, when the clocks went back. So before sunrise. So the sun rises over here. This is in like north, east. This is the south. So there, see that in the sky, you can see the see the sunrise in the distance. So there it is there. Just show Tommy again. So there it is there in the distance. You can actually see the sunrise. There we go. Well, it was not actually. It's about an hour, 2 hours before sunrise. So that was not sure what that was in the sky, and it was in the sky for about 2 hours, may I add. But we've had some red. This is sunrise in the morning. You can't actually see the redness there, but our skies have been red every morning, like a nice red. It doesn't really do it justice showing you on that. But yeah. So apart from that, in the UK. That's about the summary of our news. So all they've been on about this COP thing in Scotland about how they're going to bring down environmental things and things like that. All these global things. But at the end of the day, if humans didn't work so hard, they would need to produce so much and use so much. So perhaps reducing hours for workers and not taxing us so much might help. Tommy?
So that was a really cool picture. Now, I'm dealing with so many different things right now, trying to survive with my partner, going to the hospital, and who knows how bad, or it's still up in the air what's happening, but her heart stopped, and they're trying to shock it. They keep it going. She made it through the night. They took it to the other island. They flew her over there. I can't even see her because I don't have the vaccine. I don't want to get it, but if they keep her in the hospital, I'll have to get the vaccine so I could go see her. But it's a game with that. But last night, I went out early in the morning, not this morning, yesterday morning. So 2 ships over my house, really cool. One was a white light moving along, and it blinked like 3 kind of yellow blinking lights on it. And then it turned into one big ball of light, and it went back to the one light. Really weird. Then I saw this other ship. Man, it cruised across the whole sky so fast. I mean, it wasn't a shooting star, nothing like that. But I filmed both of them, and in the interim, there's 6 people that I met in about a month and a half, and they all say they actually saw a mothership over Hawaii, over them directly, really close. So I don't know what's going on, but for the past month and a half, I wasn't able to see the sky much, and when I did get out there, I didn't see a thing. But yesterday morning, it was like everything was popping. Seeing them all come in all different ways. About 5, 6 ships that I saw, the second I got the camera on it, they disappeared. So they're talking about, let's talk about disclosure. And the people coming out right now saying they're going to release this. They're talking about how NASA is going to release the truth. When they say that, they're not going to release the truth ever. When are they going to release any facts? That's a different story. They're probably going to feed us some half-assed story because they don't want to tell us what's really going on, and they probably can't. But I wrote a couple letters this morning already, people claiming all these things, we're all connected and blah, blah, blah. And I said, but that's not helping mankind. It's not helping us move forward. And everything we're doing, I mean, Mr. Gates and Musk, okay, Musk is like saying with $6 billion really cure the homeless people in the world. But he's willing to donate it if I guess they could prove to him that it would stop starving children. I mean, does he really care? Is it all about that? Because what they're doing, what he's planning on doing to the planet, is not beneficial to the planet or beneficial to us. He's putting all those satellites around the planet to make a grid work of a frequency that's going to hit us all. And that should be happening within this year. So for everybody else out there, you need to go online, pull up some information, check out sites. Don't believe everything you hear. 90% of it's probably lies. And the government doesn't tell us anything important ever. The whole idea of them releasing the Tic Tac was probably by mistake, and that's the most they ever went into it. They never went into detail. And in the UFO world, wake up, people. You want to hear about Roswell again? How many more times do you want to hear about it? It's helping us in no way right now. It's over, done with. I just watched a show on TV, Paranormal, or whatever it was called, and it's all stuff that they actually saw in between 1947 and 52. 52 is the year the ships went in front of over the White House twice in a week. That's when I was born that year. So check it out. There's a couple shows. I mean, and they showed these people that were involved with the UFOs in 47, and you don't hear much about that stuff. You're talking about first they saw 3 ships, and they saw 6 ships, and then they were trying to trail them and follow them, and they couldn't. All those real stories that are coming out right now. You know, the government can release things after 25 years and sometimes 50, but they're not going to tell us that because they don't want to tell us that.
In the UK, the Queen put it, I think it used to be 50 years in the UK. The Queen a few years ago, I think when Princess Diana met her faithful end, put the things up to 100 years. So sometimes in the UK, we now have to wait 100 years before anything is disclosed. But just to reiterate something, just to touch on something you've just said there about people saying about Roswell, and I'd just like to say hello to people in the chat room first. There is something new. Well, I say new. This week, I've seen it on the TV. I'm not sure what channel. I do apologise. And I've seen it on the internet news that a second interstellar object has been located coming from interstellar space outside of our universe, traveling inside our universe, directly headed towards our solar system, slungshot round our solar system while all our planets were synchronized going round further away from us so they couldn't detect us. It then went to slingshot round, and that's as far as I think the object has gotten. So another object from interstellar space has come back to see us. So it's not the first one. This is a second one. So someone or something is definitely, if it's becoming more frequent, more bigger, if coming from interstellar space about the same direction, that should say something, whether that's anything to do with our volcanic eruptions or things like that. And also this week it was announced there is an Earth's inner core. Lots of governments are now coming forward saying that they have seen objects coming in and out of the water, in and out of volcanoes or things like that. And they're now saying that they've discovered that Earth does have an inner core. Whether that is an inner planet or somehow, they didn't go that far, but they just said that there is an inner core, not like they originally thought. So whether they're saying that these beings or creatures come from an inner core is anyone's guess. Tell me.
Well, I'm not sure they ever said that planet Earth was a solid ball. I don't think they ever believed that to be true. But I'm dealing with like all these things in the native sites and all that, talking about the native people work with this. I'm sorry, people. I don't care what heritage, what nationality, or any of those words I am. But the truth is, very few people have any truth, and the stories they tell are pretty made up, all right, for a word. Because when they talk about the star people, and they go on about them help, and I said, help what? What is help? What do people consider help? If an alien race was going to come here to help us, what would they do? Nothing? I mean, when you talk about the native people saying they work with the star beings, 50 million native people were killed. Where were they helping them? They say they work with Bigfoot. Where's the help Bigfoot did with them? I know Bigfoot carries animals away. They carry people's horses and cows away and things like that. So where are they helping people, and what do they do to help people? I have one friend who said he worked with them for 40 years, says they're doing healing work and teaching us how to heal and all that. Again, I'm a rebel about that right now, even because my partner is deathly sick. And I'm just glad she made it through the night. And people say, well, she had the virus. Yeah, I know. I mean, the vaccine. And she was sick for 2.5 weeks after she got the vaccine. She almost died then. I don't know if she had a relapse, but no, they said it's her heart stopped. Luckily, when she was here that morning, she goes to me, run out and get a Coca-Cola. I need it. So I come back and I give it to her, and then she almost passed out and says, call 911. I can't, I'm going to die. So I did, and she was pretty right on, because when she got to the hospital, her heart stopped. And, you deal with little things, and you can't say it's related to the vaccine. You can't say it's related to chemtrails. But in reality, there's nothing they feed us that's beneficial for our bodies. The vitamins they make go through our system. Very few of them get digested. The other thing, the food's all contaminated, laced with multiple things that we should not have, should not be in our body. And these chemtrails are covering everything, the ground and everything else. So what are aliens doing to help us right now? Are they? I mean, I'm waiting for these UFO people to come out and say, hey, look, this is what they're going to do for us. Really? Prove it. I'm waiting. I've been waiting for 50 years. I've been waiting since I was 6 years old. I mean, they were going to try to abduct my brother. I don't see that as a good thing. They abducted Tina how many times? That's not a good thing. And all these people, well, they don't talk about that much. Even though there's a show on saying, well, they were here, they were here. I said, okay, what did they do? Tina, you're waiting for something good to happen, right?
Well, Tommy, I'm always waiting for something good to happen, but it never seems to happen to me. Just before I say anything else, I'd just like to say hi to all the usual guys and everyone, and they're all speaking really nicely to each other. Hi, guys, in our chat room. And the Aurora Borealis is supposed to have been seen all around England this weekend, yes, because of the sun. I'm not sure if the tin is for the tinfoil hat wearer or to, but here in the UK, I haven't actually seen the Aurora Borealis as far as Southampton, but because of the sun affects our magnetic Earth pull, doesn't it? So, and this neutrino attack or burst from the sun. I'm not sure if that's affected or if it's happened, but I haven't seen the Aurora Borealis in the sky. I don't think that's what it was the other morning. But yeah, it's nice to see all you guys in the chat room. And if you'd like to ask a question or come on and say hello, or like to challenge us or just chat to each other, that's great. It's nice to see you all in there. Like Tommy said, and Tommy's going for a rough time now, and he still comes on the show. So kudos to Tommy. Bless him. He keeps me going each week, and he's very strong individual. But yeah, like he says, I keep waiting for the penny to drop or something nice to happen. That's been a long way off for me.
We need a good alien to come down, say, hi, everybody, I'm going to help you, and then do something. I mean, not the ones that say, we're going to help you and do nothing. I mean, that's what a lot of them say to people. But for me, I have my experiences. I don't talk from everybody else's. Tina doesn't either. When you have your own experience, suddenly UFOs are real. When people say, are they real? Are we ready for disclosure? We're not ready for the truth. But we should know it. There's a difference. You're never going to be ready for the truth because it's not going to be what you want, even in religion. So the idea is to be willing and ready to face the truth. I'll talk about my workshop at the end of this show, but we need to start opening our eyes, checking out information, checking out what we see. I mean, we see hundreds of UFOs going up in a week right now. Even if 1 or 2 of them are real, they're real. People, how do people understand that? Well, they're all fake. They're all fake. We have millions of sightings. Are they all fake? And every storyteller, are they all fake and drug and drunks and whatever? No.
So what makes it interesting is if they think that UFOs are all fake today, what about the billions of sightings over millions of years that even cavemen were drawing? They weren't lying back then in prehistoric times, and they drew on the walls in caves and in paintings and in in oral histories that are passed down in sculptures. And this is before reading and writing. They drew this stuff in the sky, and you get it all around the world. So and it's the same as crop circles. They say, oh, they're fake, they're man-made. Well, hold on. So you're telling 52 continents, the same 2 people that millions of years old walk around with bags of radiation rubbing it over the earth to make crop circles. I don't know. But so until the modern day era, these things went back thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. So we don't understand enough about our own planet. We don't understand enough about our us as a species. We don't understand about death, about our brains, how there's so much we don't understand, let alone taking the next step into space. We can't even save our own bodies and souls. So there's a lot of work to be done. Saving your own environment is probably one good step towards that, Tommy.
Well, when we got the richest person on the planet, Mr. Musk and Gates and people like that, the three of them, Musk wants to put us on Mars. Why? How many people we're going to get up there? How fast can we do it? And what benefit is it going to do to mankind? Nothing. If he took some of that money, like they talked, he said if $6 billion would make the world better, how about we try it? I mean, you would be recognized as a really good person instead of one of the most conniving, whatever you want to call it, creating your own synthetic world and expect everybody to want to go to Mars. Really? How many people are going to fly there? And what are you going to do with them?
You want to go to a planet that's probably already been in.
I got to get this call. Tell us story, okay?
So, Tommy's just got to take a call. I've got to say, everyone, please, if you have in prayers or healing prayers to Tommy and his wife, his partner. She is seriously ill in hospital, guys. So, kudos on doing the show tonight, and it is quite a serious situation. And my heart does go out to Tommy and his family. So I'd like to send well wishes and to Tommy in Hawaii. And things are pretty desperate out there for him. So I'd just like to say that. So if you guys have any prayers, well wishes, a lucky charm you can write, or anything you can send towards Tommy, that would be muchly appreciated and heartfelt for him. To carry on from what Tommy was saying, if any of you guys want to ask a question, then go ahead. But the title Tommy's put up tonight is UFO realities, or are they real? Of course they're real. People, like Tommy said, there are millions and billions of people, but it's only now recently they're taking it serious because they've had pilots coming forward for nearly a century saying this. And if it's taken a century worth of people that have been fully trained with millions of pounds of training to turn around and say, yeah, these things are real, this is happening. But these people still come from general members of the public. They come from everyday families. They're trained to be in that position. So these are people that are just what they're classed as top 1 or 10%, in the world or in their countries or in their field, to tell you UFOs are real. And I guess like contact, everyone's waiting for contact to happen. Contact is happening. Contact has happened. It's happened many, many thousands of years ago. And even today, when people come forward and say that they've been abducted, and it's contact, it's how you see contact in your mind. Are you one of these people that think, yeah, it's like a comic book strip? Well, wait till they land on the White House lawn. Well, hold on, they landed in Africa in a schoolyard with hundreds of children to see from different cultures. Teachers saw it, children saw it. There was physical evidence as well. So they landed on a continent in front of people and children, people that are, that are open-minded. Children are very open-minded about things they see, so you got to take that into consideration. So there's one way. So reality check. Everything doesn't happen in America. There's children in South Africa, I think it was, many years ago. And people on smaller islands that don't have access to internet and or good medical care also come forward and said they've been visited. Anyone who's been abducted by a different species and tested upon, people think, oh, you're weirdos, and it's not. Put yourself into an endangered species enclosure. You're a scientist. You're going to take that endangered species, dart him, jab him, take him out, fix him, and put him back. And the story he's going to tell his friend is going to be unbelievable. So, contact is happening in many, many different ways, not as people would like to think it is. I'm just going to answer a question from John. So the volcanic ash at La Palma, for those who don't know, I believe it's off the coast of west coast of Africa, and not far in a direct line just across the African point of Africa, straight up in the UK is that. La Palma is, they have, I think it's called the Cumbre, if I'm even saying that right, volcano. And they did a documentary at Horizon, I think we mentioned this last week, did a huge documentary years ago about how serious that was. It now turns out the lava flow is flowing freely all over the island and down into the sea, which causes other catastrophic events. But the ash, I believe the ash and parts of the ash cloud have been located in the UK, which is not good news, people. Ashes have a few disputes like substances. Yeah. So yes, volcanic ash has lots of different things in it. Not very good for humanity, not very good for animals or plant life. I believe it lays like a thick blanket. It's in the air if you breathe it in, and it's also seriously damaging to aircraft. So it's not good for anybody or anything along the way, but it's one that we should be watching, because if that does rupture and cause a tectonic plate shift, or we're in everything, the whole planet, I think, is in serious trouble with that one. But I can't believe the scientists aren't making more of this on the TV unless they know there's nothing that they can do, and there's nothing they're not warning us about, which they should be. Makes me think that. So there'll be, as far as I'm aware, from what this documentary said, a huge tsunami going at the speed of a jet plane would hit us. So, southern coast of the UK would be wiped out. So there you go. But apart from that, there are other things that don't make the news. People should look locally to where they live. Sorry, I've got another question. How do you think aliens will present themselves to the public? Well, like I said earlier, it's I'm a member of the general populace, and that millions. I wouldn't consider myself lucky, but somebody actually listened to me, and my case was investigated. It was thoroughly investigated and documented. There are millions of people that reported things that don't get a chance to get their story or account out. And there's not many places in the UK that you can do that. In my opinion, is contact has already happened. So if another species takes another species and experiments on them, whether it's for preservation, contact purposes, it could be, it could be for scientific purposes, which it obviously is, or like you said, or they could be used in enslaving the human race, or it could be for strategic reasons. It is not clear, and the reason it is not clear is that if someone is doing something underhandedly, so just to put it in different terms, if you had a surgeon that went out, a bit like Jack the Ripper, went out and was abducting people by night, performing all these little autopsies where people were alive, putting them back in their rooms and leaving them to bleed to death or die or heal from their wounds. Now, if somebody reported that in the UK, you'd have the Serious Crimes Unit out looking for the person. And they probably wouldn't get very far. But this is happening to the human species, not just one area and a few people. It's millions of people in all the countries around the world saying this. Sorry, my partner's just coming for it. Yeah, my dog is due for feeding. Sorry. So it is happening. It's not when or what you think it would look like or how would they present themselves to the public. They're really presenting themselves by public. They're not. So the things you should be looking at is they're not considering us or how we work socially, which is not a good thing, because they're detecting and watching us and coming up with things, on their own. Like, they obviously know that we don't work well together. We don't play nice. So they're not treating us as a group as a whole. If they are treating us as individuals, then that's a bit underhanded, and they're not. That is not really good for the human race. But I'm just sorry, I've just got to stop there. Just Tommy, are you okay to continue?
Yeah, I just talked to my partner. She's waiting for the doctors to find out what they're going to do with her. She has no clue right now. They could either be putting a pacemaker on, treat her with medicine, or try to. But I don't know if your heart stops, taking medicine is going to help at all. Where the pacemaker will shock the heart if it stops. So I don't know. I'm just waiting for that. She's so worried about my little puppy dog out here. But everything looks cool right now. Back to this issue about what we're hearing all over the internet, what all these people saying disclosure is going to happen, and we're going to see this and we're going to see that. Remember, they never did anything good for us. And we got all these people coming out. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're going to help us. And, help. Mankind has to help himself. And if they can't do that, they're not going to get nowhere. And we should have learned over time that we're not going to be one world order like everybody wants it to be. It can't work, and it won't. One world order means one world of slaves. That's the way it would work as a world order. If aliens came down and said they're going to be controlling us, I could see that happening, just like the movie V. But here's the thing, people. These aliens don't have feelings and emotions like we do. They don't think like we do. Their agenda is not like us. So why would they come down and say, hey, we're going to help you build better crops, fields, and make your animals better? What are they going to do? Right now, they're slaughtering animals all around the United States because of money. And they're saying they're going to try to cut down food and farms and everything else. What's that mean? More control over people. So is aliens behind all this? I will say yes, and I know a lot of the New Age people will say no. All right, the time frame that we're in right now is pretty critical. All the earthquakes going off for a reason. If they're inside the earth, they know what they're doing as well. If you're inside the earth, you don't think if you set a bomb off inside the earth, it would shake the whole planet? People think like everything's natural. I believe in God. I believe in spirit. I believe in aliens. Any one of them can screw up what's going on this planet, good or bad. And if we just find out there's an alien race inside the planet, what are they doing? And why didn't they come out ever?
They've probably been here a long time before we ever walked the earth.
That's what I'm saying. And they don't want to come out. What are they going to do with us out here? Kill us, eat us, which they're already doing. People
avoiding us.
Questions, answers, please send them in. You want to come on anytime, you got something important to say, please do. This site's only for truth. It's only about what's real, what's happening, and what's going to help us in any way. Bless you. We have to deal with the now. Oh, live in the now. We can't live in the future. We have to prepare for it, but we have to live in the now. If we didn't care about the future, we wouldn't care about pollution. We wouldn't care about all those things, but we should be. And Mr. Musk and everybody else, Gates isn't talking about that. Why do they talk about the trivial things? Carbon monoxide. That's the least of our problems right now. I mean, one of the smartest, not smartest, richest people. Rich doesn't make you smart, and it doesn't make you spiritual either. So it's time, people. You want the answers. Start working for yourself. Don't expect everybody to give them to you. But listen to what these people are saying. I heard somebody important say it. I'm not going to go into those details, but he said, anything. I watched the whole government. I guess it was in Europe. They were talking about how the government will never tell you anything important. No matter what they tell you, you know it's not for the people. Nothing that's being done is for the people.
I noticed. Tommy's right. Sorry, Tommy. Tommy's right, because in the UK here, I've noticed in the last year, the news has been so heavily censored on the television channels, but on the Sky News or the BBC News, just to mention two. I mean, before that, we used to get different, like Russia Today, used to get different channels and different, but they're very very focused news. It's not like it used to be when they reported, what was going on at the time, and that was it. But it's very focused on things like that today. So it's been, your view is being narrowed what they want you to, topics they want you to look at. But getting back to the question that aliens could take us at any time. Of course they could. If they can abduct someone in the middle of the night from their own home, the army's not doing nothing. The Air Force isn't doing nothing. The Navy's not doing nothing. The police aren't doing nothing. The Secret Service, MI15 or MI16, they're not doing nothing about it. Nobody's rescuing you. Nobody's making sure you're okay. They can't trace them coming in and out of your house. If it's above all this and still all this technology we have, all this military intervention, all the scientific ways we have, and they can't help a single person in the UK or stop them from being abducted. So of course they can take us at any time. You know, there are just a few questions that aren't even being looked at. Never people been taken, and they can't even protect us. Tommy, sorry.
I don't like to promote books in general, but a person I met a while ago, Barbara Masiniak, she wrote a book. It was really important, but it came out a long time ago. Type online Bringers of the Dawn, and she explains it, and she explained it then, that aliens could abduct souls when they're going through this realm to the next. And they do, especially if they don't have any protection. So I'm telling you, people, protection spiritually is important. The same as it is bringing that into the physical reality as well. I mean, sure, it's not going to protect you from the president shooting you, putting you in jail and things like that, but it's going to protect who you are as soul. So when you say soul, unaware souls can be easily abducted and taken and used. Barbara Masiniak talks about the grid work around the planet that absorbs souls that are freely floating around there, and then you use them. So, you know, and she wrote that a long time ago, but I know she's 100% right about that part of it. So when we talk about aliens, they're not going into the astral plane and playing with us. They can't do that. But they can catch us as we go into the astral plane. These people just coming out and saying, well, I got psychic abilities and we're going to work with the aliens. And, you know, I like to say names all the time. I got sent it a couple times again in the week, this past week. But, you know, you can't say much at all. You have to, how do you say something like, not derogatory, but say something against what they're saying without being bad? Oh, they don't like what I said. They're harassing me. Well, how many people are telling the truth? If you were telling 100% truth, I wouldn't harass you. I'd bring you on my show. I mean, I deal with truth. I don't deal with lies. But they like to promote the lies, and they let them lie. All these UFO speakers and what they're saying. Look at the world. Are they helping us? The bottom line. Is the government helping us? Oh, is Gates and Musk really going to do good things for the planet? I don't think so. And I don't see anything good happening yet. And what's going down right now is very bad. So when we see these ships, like Tina sees ships over her house all the time, they're watching her. I see ships over me all the time. Something's going on, and the government won't talk about it. Oh, they just ignore it. How could you ignore a ship over a city, over a town? I mean, I have
foreign ship from outside of our planet. It's like a space shuttle coming in every night. That would be all over the news if it was our space shuttle because it's someone else's. No.
We can't tell anybody that it's not ours, really. It's not Russia. It's not China. If it was China, I guarantee that the United States government would have all the rights to shoot it down. And they would try, because no country is allowed to go over another country, over no-fly zones or in certain areas, without permission to come into the airspace. I mean, we went over Russia once, and they threatened to blow the ship up, and they said, out within the 5 minutes or so, whatever it was, or your ship's going to be down. We can't go over areas that we're not allowed to go. So when all these ships are over us every day, every night, what are they doing? And who's allowing it? Who's going to stop it? So it's not, I'm sure it's the same over China right now as over Russia, but who's actually working with them? And my truth is, we have been working with them the longest. And our technology in the 50s were much better off than China was. Guess who came up with the first nuclear weapon? Who started playing with it? Who's the idiots that did that? I mean, think back on our history. Who's the problem maker? We are. But we're not into peace. We can't. The government doesn't want peace because then there's no money being made. If everybody was working at some kind of, not friendly level, but at a decent level, trade would be much better. But the fighting over, we can't make money on it, we don't want it. When they allowed Tibet get destroyed because they had nothing to offer the United States. I mean, even Mexico, whatever, we can get drugs from them, they let it go on. Wherever they can make tons of money to feed their space program, which Mr. Rumpo said he created, was a big lie, but it's always been here. Truman and Eisenhower knew it, and we're part of it. Truman
Sorry, John
created it.
said about radiation. Well, we're a radioactive planet, or do you mean it was Marie Curie that tried to kill herself, or did with that radiation? Sorry.
I mean, it's a lot of people that deal with stupid things that they shouldn't be. Do you got your Geiger counter there?
Yes, I do. So,
I'm looking for mine.
1 second, I've got it in somewhere.
I think I put mine over there.
So, guys, it's this time on the show. I wasn't very well on and off for a while, and Tommy advised me to get a Geiger counter. I thought he was joking. I really did.
I wasn't joking. I meant it.
Too hard. I thought, do you know what? It sounds mad enough. I'll give it a go. So I went onto Amazon, bought this little baby. It's less than £20. I think it's about, I want to say about 18 quid, but it's probably less than that. There's the back of it. They're both identical. I got mine on Amazon. Tommy got his on Amazon. That's exactly what it is. There you go. And to switch it on, you push this little red button here. And the top one there, as you see, reads volts per meter. So that's electrical magnetic field. And the bottom one there reads microteslas. And there's a sign for microteslas. It also picks up a different type of magnetic field. Now, Tommy's is flashing, as you can see. Mine is not. Tommy's is flashing because he doesn't have a smart screen TV, a screen. I do, which means his screen is giving off volts per meter, which is giving off electrical.
Fast note: when I turn my meter around the opposite way, it doubles. It goes from 50 to 110.
That's not a good thing, Tommy. So mine is not going off because I have a smart screen TV. So nothing around me is giving off electrical magnetic waves or radiation. It's just only so. No, nothing, Tommy. Try the other side. Right. So
I'm moving away from the screen.
So now I'm going to put it on me. There's nothing around going off. So now I'm going to put this. I'll come forward so you can see it. So no electrical magnetic radiation and no micro Tesla radiation. So can't even see that. The light is trying to get it right. Hold on. So we'll start here. And hold on. Is it move? It's not moving today, is it? I can't see.
I don't think it's moving.
No.
Wow. She goes up and down. We could be doing a show. It'll be really high. It'll go low.
Nothing today. Oh, there. Oh, there's a little twitch. Did you see that? No.
Go down further. Go down to your arms.
There.
There, it's going off right now. That's not a normal thing. It's if you ask a scientist.
So that's micro Teslas. So it's not a volts per meter, guys.
Yeah. See, any scientist would say that's impossible. What's happening? Radiation doesn't go up and down. It doesn't multiply. It doesn't stop. It can't stop and go, especially when it's in the body. Sometimes it gets a super high reading.
So trying to keep the light on it so you guys can see.
No, just go down further and see how it is around your lower body.
Nothing around the front.
No, huh? Your arms.
No.
Well, that's just something that we came to the conclusion of. Something's bizarre about that. And
there you go, guys.
I talked to a couple of different scientists, doctors, and chemists, and nobody can come up with a reason or how it's possible. So that's kind of really weird. But she's having the symptoms of radiation poisoning. So think about that, people.
So if you look at what micro Teslas a radiation field, they're both like electrical magnetic fields. So you get a volts per meter, which is electrical magnetic field, which is given off like magnetic coils, which gives off a radiation. You get a safe level. When this is a serious level, it flashes, and it's micro Teslas. So just look the little symbol up there. There it is there, the little symbol for micro Teslas, and the different type of magnetic field. Okay, Tommy.
So people, getting back to this UFO thing, all we're going to hear, if you go to any UFO conference, you can hear 90% good things, maybe 5% bad things, and 5%, well, who knows what. But we know they're real, all right? It's not a matter of proving that they're real, proving that they're there. That should be cut out of the list of things we need to talk about. Just because the government doesn't want to talk about it, we don't need to talk about it like it's not real. If you have an experience, and if you didn't, please text me. I'll send you a book, How to See a UFO Field Manual. And if you follow it, you'll see a UFO rather week or two if you're willing to put time in. But you need to be willing, all right? If you're not willing to do that, you're never going to see a UFO. If you don't look at the sky, you're not going to see them. Unless they come down and take you, but they're not taking everybody. There's 8 billion people on the planet, and they only take a limited number. And Tina was the lucky one. So, you know,
Don't
when they
think
say,
so.
what?
Don't ever call it that. Don't ever call it that.
You know how many people want to, how many people want to be abducted? Oh, I would love to be abducted. I'd love to be on a ship.
I don't understand why. I never asked for it, never wanted it. And if anyone was ever in my shoes, you'd never want that to happen. I wouldn't want that to happen to my worst enemy ever. So for anyone that ever says that, you're off your nut. You want a psychiatric evaluation, if you ask me. Hell no.
Well, everybody thinks we could unite. We can't unite the planet, all right? And you expect to unite multiple races? All right, now, from the facts that I dealt with in my life, all my life, the people that I met, people that said they work with multiple races and things like that, Bob Dean, who was really a cool guy, one of the top UFO speakers before he died, all right, even Mr. Putin said 27 races. Putin said live on Russian TV, one of them, not one of them, two of them want to destroy the planet. How's he know that? And why would he say that? So, I mean, okay, that leaves 25 races that won't try to destroy the planet, and 2 that will. But how do you know what the other 25 are doing? All right, how do they know that? Now, the person that I work with, who said he worked with 27, said that there's a lot of bad things about them, like what they smell like, what they do, and how they eat and all that. You don't hear people talking about that much. If you're with an alien, especially if you're there with them a couple hours, you don't think you'd ask them, or if you were talking to them like some of these people do. I have a lady sending me these links, and the aliens are talking to them and all that. They're hearing messages. I had it happen. One of the people I deal with, we were on the phone, and we heard this weird gibber, and then it was translated and everything else. We got texted 1,000 times in a minute. I don't think any person could do that. And it was talking about an alien race coming here. So we get a lot of messages. We hear a lot of things. But where's the proof that it's going to be anything good for mankind? Well, superpowers, we need them, we can use them. And they're really pushing that now. You know,
so,
the
I don't
army.
think people understand. Sorry, Tommy. If what they call like Superman, okay, just take that. Just President Superman's people came here, right? Just using that to show as an example. So Superman's people have been sending us these little comms, Moa, whatever it was, that came here to check us out. Now, they'd only appear to have superpowers on our Earth because we live in a different climate, in a bubble that has oxygen with different pressures, different weight values, different timings. So they would appear to have, it could be deadly poisonous atmosphere for all we know to them. It would only appear that they are superhuman. If we went to their planet, would we appear as gods? Would we appear as like flying creatures because we were weightless? It depends on lots and lots and lots of different things. So, I think people watch too much TV, in my opinion, and just jump to the wrong conclusions. Tommy, sorry.
No, well, getting back to how many aliens can help us, what would they do for us? What would you want them to do for you? We're already trying to go to Mars. Like, why? Is that going to help us? We want to put bases on the moon. We want to do all these things. What about the middle class and poor people on this planet, which means 90% of 8 billion people? What are they going to do? Starve, take their food away so that these rich people? Now, all the money being spent in the United States is going somewhere, and it's not going to the poor people and middle class people. And when people say, well, blah, 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 we got to make them pay more taxes, really? You know that the space program average that it did up until recently used $5 trillion a year. All right, where's that come from? How come it's not reported? Who's taking it? Where's it going? How's it getting there? Well, you know how many departments there are in the UFO world alone? They call it the Army weapon field. If they use the name weapon, they can spend any money they want on it. And if they classify a spaceship, a satellite, anything they send up as a weapon, it's going to be paid for. And we got to pay for it every time. Now, this nobody talks about either. All these rockets going through the ozone layer.
Our own human race, really, in our own way, working and paying taxes to the government is not really, there's limited social support, and we're paying over the odds for it. It's something's got to give.
When we go through the ozone layer, you don't think that's worse than something else? Australia now has the worst holes on the whole planet right now, and the children have to wear long sleeve shirts so that they don't get burnt and everything else. But it's growing, and those holes are growing in more places. You keep sending rockets up that blast a giant hole in the ozone layer, and Mr. Musk wants to put 2,600 up this year, by the end of this year even. So he has a grid work around the planet, creating this energy field around the planet. You don't think that's going to change everybody's energy and aura? Just that alone interfere with us, our vibration? And then for him to claim that, okay, we'll have cheaper internet service. All right, you want to give up your health, you want to give up everything else for a cheaper internet service? And to be more controlled than ever? This whole thing about control is growing greatly. And to think that we can have one world order, the UN Agenda 21-30, look it up, people. You really need to read it. Read what it's about. Check it compared to what's happening right now.
I think it's the spectrum, Tommy. People have that. It's how, like you said, you're quite right in saying it's how they're brought up, what their idealization is, what their expectations are. People don't put enough thought into things, just everyday simple things. And as a human race, we are nothing like these. From what I've seen, these creatures, we are on some level, say on like a tree, we are on some level, we are they're a branch of us, or we are a branch of them, or what have you. But mentally, and how they see things and work, and they are an alien species that is nothing like we see, say things and do at all. Completely opposites. So I think people need to start looking at things differently. We can't even cooperate as a human race. So with that saying, we're nearly at the end of our show, guys. Just going to read a few more comments. If you have any last minute comments for me and Tommy before we go, I'm just going to say again, I'm trying to chase an editor at the moment, which is never a good thing. So here is a sneak peek of my book. Yes, Tommy.
That is such a cool picture. I can't wait till that book comes out.
That was specifically made for me, for my book. There you go. It's called The Bonded, The Truth About Alien Abduction. Here, bro. Literally, it will be just about my account of what's happened to me. And there's a statement in there for my investigator, because my case was investigated. And there's other little bits and pieces in there. So, but as soon as I get that together, that will be out. And yes, thank you, John. So prayers for everyone. If anyone, healing prayers, please send Tommy's way. If you'd like to send him messages, please do so. Make sure they're very positive ones, and certainly have my best and well wishes and prayers. To Tommy's family at this time, and thank you for making a show. Great guys, and I'm amazed Tommy can even come on. Yes.
Before you go, Tina, what's going on with the hypnosis thing? Any idea? Any feedback at all? when it's going to happen?
No, I've just got to wait for a window of opportunity again now to arise. Because I live down the bottom of the country, and the person and the people who investigated it lives halfway up the country from me, like about a 4 hour drive away from me. So there's quite a distance, you know. And I work every day. So when my next time off, so I'm going to book it when things are probably a bit quiet. It probably won't happen now till after Christmas.
So who's going to move? Who's going to meet who? They're going to come meet you, or you got to go meet them?
Because they're all up north, as we put it, up north of the country, because they're quite far. So that my investigator is also a writer for the UFO Truth magazine, and he is a chairman of the Boothville Birmingham UFO Group and Society, and he uses a specialist. He's given me his card up there. I won't share it. I'll have to get his permission for us to spread it all over the internet, because it has his private address on it, so I won't really put it on there. So they all live up there, up north. So because there's nothing really down south with all that amenities and things like that. So I'll have to go up with a member of my family and stay up there for the weekend. They've offered to put me up and have it done. I do want it done. I'm going to go ahead with it. So I'm hoping when things quieten down and they've got time, then yeah, I'm definitely going for it. And it's going to be recorded. So it's going to be recorded. So, but we are out of time now, guys. So hopefully it's going to be recorded just after. Before I go again, thank you to everyone who's sent well wishes for Tommy and his family. Hopefully everything goes well. You're part of my very best wishes and speedy recovery, and I will see you next week. So until then, if there's any news, please contact me. Message Tommy. Yeah, take care, everybody, and especially you, Tommy. Okay, and thank you for coming on the show. With all the pressure that you're
it's always a pleasure. Anybody want to get in touch with her, please do. Get in touch with me. Questions, answers, whatever. Want to come on the show, please do. If you got something important to say anytime, we're here for truth. I'm going to go into a few things, but I'll say thank you, Tina. Till next time. Hope everything stays okay for you.
And you guys, thank you, everybody in the chat room. Goodbye and speedy recovery. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.
All right, Tina Bird, great person. She's dealing with a lot. I mean, her dog died. I mean, I don't know how I could do if my dog died. He got attacked by a pit bull last night. I jumped on top of him. I think he's okay. I got to make sure, because if he's not, I got to bring him to the vet. But, people, I'm doing a workshop, and the workshop's a little different than UFO stuff. It gets into it later on. At the very end, I might. But I'm dealing, and the title is Truth and Beyond. It's a closed conference. It's by invitation, and I was going to charge, but it's only basically if anybody wants to donate when they come in or whatever, that's their choice. But it's about truth about life, death, birth, reincarnation, God, angels, demons, all of it. It's about it all. And if you don't think it's all real, then you believe nothing's real. You can't believe in one of them without believing in the other. All right. Yeah. My dog is under my feet like he usually is. He's resting. I hope he's okay. I got to make sure that he's okay today, because if not, then I'll have to bring him to the vet. But it was scary. I'm out there. This dog comes running, jumps right on top. I'm trying to pull. I think I got my hand bit. My finger's swollen, but I didn't break my finger, the skin or anything. But my poor dog was screaming. And somebody told me how to stop a pit bull from biting. I'm not going to go into it, but in the interim, we got it off, and my dog was just screaming. So I got him home, and he was freaking out. I'm hoping that he slept, that he's not thinking about what happened. I'm sure it could affect the way a dog thinks for a while as well. Because when I went to pick him up, he just kept screaming, and I don't know. I'm trying to touch. I felt him. I gave him a shower and everything, to check his lungs, his ribs, and try to see if everything's okay. He's breathing okay. He's not eating, but he is also not eating because my partner's left. And she's always with him half of the day, and I'm with him half of the day. So, or both, however you want to look at it. But right now, the workshop is really hardcore. It's only for people that want the truth, the real truth, not fairy tale land, not the make-believe stuff, the real stuff that's going on. What happens when you die? Why are you here? What are you doing? What are you planning on doing when you die? Are you ready? Are you able? What happens if you reincarnate? Do you know why you would reincarnate? Do you know anything about karma? Do you know the real facts for yourself? Not what other people say, but what's real for you about it. Social distance or relationship. Well, I'm just trying to get the shot. I have to get the Johnson & Johnson shot to go see my partner in the hospital, or they won't let me see her. I can't get the single dose because it has to be the second dose before they'll let me into the hospital. So I'm just dealing with that as well. I'm trying to figure out if I just yesterday was a day from hell. I mean, everything happened really bad. My car broke down. I had to get. Luckily, I was right near a place, a mechanic that I knew, and he took it. He was working on it last night, finished it this morning, came pick me up and gave me my car back. With that, I would have really been screwed. So, things happen, and sometimes you get a little bit lucky in between it all. But my partner's on the other island, and she's waiting for the doctors to come and tell her what they're going to do to her. So with that, getting back to my workshop, sorry. It's for people ready to move on, to think about after they die, where they're going to go and what's happened. Not about making money here and being rich and becoming famous or powerful. Oh, I'm psychic. I could do psychic abilities. It's not about that. That doesn't make anything better, really. But when you invade space, natural energy, it gets twisted and it forms other energies. And they're usually not good. Psychics that think they can read and see the future. Did they change it? Did they make it better? Ever? So you're going to die if you go out into the street today and you go out and you get hit by a car. Oh, well, he told me. But he didn't stop you. And are they there to help you stop it or help you be aware that you're going to die anyway or do something stupid? Well, it's not going to help you. Until you can talk to yourself, meaning yourself as soul, soul's aware what you are, and that's what I'm teaching. It's inside you. It's who you are when you step out of this body. That is aware. It knows the future and it knows the past and the present. So when you're doing things, it'll make the best decision if you allow it to. It's the mind that always interferes and stops that from happening. So people, if you're interested, text me at, I'm taking people that want to go to that or interested. Truth and God Only, AOL.com. Truth and God Only. Text me there. We'll work something out if you want to come in. I did 5 shows already. I'll be doing 6. I'm not sure which day or how, because I got to be careful what's going on right now in my life with my partner. I don't know how many days she's going to be gone and all this stuff that's going down in between. So people, please keep in mind, this is a show that only brings the truth out. We don't get into stories, fake stories, other people's stories, because they're not beneficial to the human race. Tell me, anybody, text me, what beneficial thing you heard when you went to a UFO conference? What changed your life? What's going to make it better? Knowing that aliens are supposed to help you? And thinking that they're going to protect you in the future? From what? All the things they're allowing us to use, like the time travel and quantum physics, which is dangerous every which way. People, it's time to wake up, time to face the truth, time to deal with who and what you are. Because when you can do that, then nothing really matters in a different way. Because once you realize your soul and you got a better place to go, it's a good thing to know, because you're always going to want to go further somewhere down the road. All right, people. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. I hope you got something out of today. If not, maybe next time. But listen, look, find the truth. It's out there. Peace, people.